What if being accepted into university abroad was the easy part and getting hired is the real test? Good day, my wonderful and successful international students. I am very, very happy to see you today. Today we have a very interesting topic because this is a topic that is related to my students here in Canada. A few days ago, I was reading an article in the Economic Times. You have probably seen this very important outlet. And what they were talking about, and I believe this was very interesting, they were talking about why Indian students were being rejected from global universities. The study actually said that Indian students, of course, usually receive the highest grades. And I can tell you this, most of my students come from India, and I'm always very proud of my students. They are always getting the best grades. They have a very good GPA. They work very, very hard. And this is one of the reasons why I was so interested in reading this article. What is this about, right? And even also when I was working at University Canada West as a senior peer leader, I remember actually talking to many MBA students and trying to analyze why it was so hard for many of us to find jobs once we graduated. This article in the Economic Times had one section that really caught my attention: admission without employability, the silent risk. And this specific paragraph caught my attention even more. A typical example is a student completing a master's in data science in the US with stronger academic results, but no industry internships. Despite having in demand technical skills, the student struggles to convert interviews into offers within the optimal practical training timeline. When sponsorships deadlines pass, the degree, though valuable, fails to translate into long-term employment. And this was the reason why I thought we need to talk about this in one of our episodes: admission without employability. And as I was reading, I kept thinking, well, this is not just about one country. And as I keep telling you, even though 70% of my students here in Canada come from India, I hear this from all my different international students coming from different parts of the world. So I know this is a problem. This is actually happening everywhere. Canada, Australia, Germany, of course, the United States. I have seen this with my own students. They arrive super motivated. They work really, really hard at school. They graduate with very good grades. And then what happens? Silent. I know. Applications are being sent to different jobs, interviews attempted, but also visa deadlines are approaching, savings are running out, and the problem is not intelligence. The problem is not quality of education either. The problem is something deeper: the admission without employability. And this is a problem international students face in many different countries. Now, what is this? Many international students believe if I get admitted in a good university, I will automatically become employable, right? But admissions and employability are two completely different systems. That's the first thing we need to understand. Admission is academic and employability is cultural, a social strategy. So universities usually are going to evaluate your GPA. Universities are going to check your test scores, your recommendation letters, your research potential, of course. However, employees are going to evaluate communication style, your confidence, your cultural fit, your initiative, networking ability as well. Also, if you have local experience. So as you can see, they are not the same skills. And nobody explains this clearly to most international students before they board a plane. So we have a problem. We want to deal with being employed by using those same skills that got us admitted in the university as international students, and that's not how things happen. That's why we crash, and that's why even though you may have the best grades, we still struggle to try to find a job once we graduate. Now, Why is this happening? Why does this happen in almost every country? There's theory behind it. There is a French sociologist named Pierre Bourdieu. He introduced the concept of cultural capital. And let me explain this in very simple words. Cultural capital is the invisible knowledge that you gain from growing up in a specific environment. So this includes things usually like how to speak in professional settings, how to disagree respectfully, how to promote yourself without sounding arrogant, of course, and how to network perhaps in those office environments, how to follow up after meetings, how to read the room, how to read the people. And now, here's the issue. When you grow up in your home, in your native country, of course, you develop one certain professional style. Why? Because you see professionals acting in a certain specific way around you. And then that's what we adopt. We usually think, okay, this is how in professional environments, this is what I'm going to do regarding respecting authority, do not question perhaps authority publicly or in front of other people, maybe let work speak for itself, maybe wait to be recognized, maybe be quiet. However, we have talked about this in many other videos. Many Western corporate environments operate very, very different. They usually expect very assertive communication. They expect self-promotion. Also, networking before asking for opportunities. They usually are going to expect strategic relationship buildings. So, what happens? You are fluent in academic language because you got admitted. Very good, congratulations. But you are not yet fluent in professional culture in this new country. So it's like being excellent at chess. Yes, very good. But then you realize that all the employers are playing poker, not chess, okay? So nobody gave you the rule about how to adapt now to a different culture. And once again, this is not failure of your intelligence. It is a gap in cultural capital. But there are good news. And the good news is that cultural capital can be learned. And I'm going to try to simplify this for you. For example, if admissions already got you into the country, you are already here in your university, well, preparation within the hidden curriculum we present in this channel will definitely move you forward. And I'm going to give you 5 practical strategies that you can start doing immediately to help you get ready and help you develop this capital that is so important for you to develop in this new country. So there are 5, and let's begin with number 1. Stop leading with your degree. What does this mean? International students often say, well, I have a master's in data science, for example. Very good, that's wonderful, congratulations. But so do thousands of other employees and other people and other international students in this country in which you are. So employers want to hear, what problems have you solved? Even if you worked in a family business, they want to know what problems you have solved and how you can help this new employer solve those problems. So even if you helped a small company maybe with social media, it's a good example, or even if you did a university project, frame it as a real experience. So instead of saying, I studied marketing, say for example, I analyzed customer behavior data and I helped increase engagement by 15% during a university campaign. See, it's a little bit different. The same experience, but it's a different framing. So this can help you already achieve that capital that sometimes employers are expecting. Now, number 2, do not wait and start immediately with a micro project. Do not wait. Do not wait for an internship to give you that experience that you need. If no one is giving you those experiences, create it. So for example, your major is in marketing. Well, analyze real ads maybe on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Or if you're studying finance, then break down real company earning reports and share them in a blog maybe. You can also share them on LinkedIn. If you're studying, for example, supply chain, study how Amazon, for example, manages logistics and maybe create some posts that you can start sharing on LinkedIn. So when an interviewer asks you, tell me about a time that you solved a problem, you won't give a theoretical answer. You can actually talk about a real experience. So you can say something like, well, let me show you. This is what I have done and this is what I have presented. So that changes everything. And that can actually help you create a portfolio. I have given my students some ideas, and we will have another episode in which I will give you some ideas about how to build your own visual and digital portfolio. But that portfolio is going to have your blogs, your posts, your videos, and that is important. So do not wait for an internship or for a job opportunity. Strategy number three, learn professional small talk. Yes, this matters a lot, okay? Now, if you still haven't watched the video and the episode that we have in Small Talk, I recommend you watch that episode. And we will continue also giving and developing more episodes, helping you come up with more ideas on how you can improve on Small Talk. But networking, it's not, hi, can you give me a job? Of course not. Networking is, okay, I'm curious about your journey as a company. And that changes also the way you're going to start expressing. So start practicing now. Start practicing at a coffee shop with strangers. Start practicing in class. Start practicing small talk at events. Most of your universities are going to give you a lot of events that you can attend. So what you can do is ask open questions in these events, like, what made you choose this field? For example, when you talk to your professors, when you talk to other classmates, or what's something you wish you knew when you started studying this field in which we are, or when you started taking these classes? Now, this is going to build comfort, and confidence in interviews does not appear magically. So you need to practice. It grows from repeated small conversations. So start practicing right away. Strategy number 4, get local experience. And I know you have heard about this before. Here in Canada, a lot of people talk about, whoa, you need Canadian experience. And it's not that the Canadian experience is just like, why is this so important? Because we know that when you have Canadian experience, you have built on this cultural capital. You have had the chance to work with other people, and you have had the chance to develop these cultural capital skills. So get local experience, even if it's small, okay? If you cannot find a paid internship or a job immediately, start volunteering strategically. You can help, for example, a professor with research. You can also help a small business maybe with some digital marketing, if that's something you're good at. You can also help a nonprofit with that organization or with administrative organization, maybe a startup with the operations. So there are always ways in which you can find volunteering opportunities. Why? Because you need a local reference, of course. You need a local manager, a local context on your resume, and that reduces employer risk, of course. Hiring is about reducing employer risk. And they are going to hire you if you have built this cultural capital in this new city, in this new country in which you are studying. And finally, strategy number 5, treat day 1 as a job search day 1. Please, this is, I think, one of the most important recommendations that I give my students, okay? Day 1, the biggest mistake, you know what it is? Waiting until you graduate. I am going to repeat this. The biggest mistake I have seen my international students making is waiting until they graduate to start looking for jobs, to start volunteering, to start getting some experience in this new country. So, if your program is, for example, 2 years long, well, see year 1 as your positioning year. And year 2 should be your converting year. I'm going to explain. So for example, in month 1 of already being in this new country, start updating your LinkedIn profile. A professional photo, a clear headline. Start making sure that you start also posting on LinkedIn maybe some posts that are related to your area, to your career. Start attending events related to your area. And to observe what's happening. As I already told you, usually there are a lot of events that are promoted in your university. But there are also some conferences, some conventions, some symposiums that have usually lower prices and lower fees for students to attend. So try to see that also as I need to do this. I need to get out. I need to develop these skills. In month number 6, for example, start talking to the career center. And this is the best recommendation I can give you. I am where I am thanks to my wonderful Libo, my career advisor. Why? Because when I was doing my master's, and I believe I have talked about this also in some of my episodes before, sometimes we're too arrogant to ask for help. But we do need help because we are in a new system. We need to learn how things work here. And I will forever be grateful to Libo because she was actually my career advisor at University Canada West. And honestly, without her guidance and her help, I wouldn't be where I am today. So please talk to your career center, take all the workshops that usually your university gives and provides on how to write a resume, how to write a cover letter, how to pass an interview. Doing that is going to change your future. And don't wait until the end. Start doing it right away. Now, think of this. Month number 9, for example. Start applying for internships right away. If you wait until your visa clock starts ticking, you will be negotiating from fear because your visa is almost over. So preparation is always going to give you power and confidence. So do not wait until you finish your master's degree or you finish your PhD or you finish your bachelor's. Start planning, start working, and start acting immediately. Now, as a final message, remember this. Your degree, of course, is your entry ticket, but your cultural fluency is your advancement strategy. The students who succeed are not always the smartest, okay? They're usually the ones who decode the hidden rules of the curriculum faster, and they understand how to develop their cultural capital right away. So here is my challenge to you. Before you board the plane or before this semester ends, please pick at least 2 strategies. Start with the project maybe, or have that conversation, attend that event, volunteer locally, update your LinkedIn, start posting on LinkedIn. Do not wait until you feel desperate because then the world, trust me, does not lack students with admission. It lacks international professionals with preparation, and you can become one of them. Now, please share in the comments. Have you already tried any of these 5 strategies that I shared today in this video? If you have, please share your experience. I am sure your experience is going to help other international students. Now, if you also found this video as something that you liked, please click like, but also share it with other international students. Remember, we have said before that every like and every subscription is helping these videos reach other international students who may be struggling, who may be lost and not knowing what to do. So, remember, this journey, it's not only about studying abroad. This journey is about thriving abroad. I know that you got this. I believe in you, and I will see you in our next episode. Ciao!